Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are viewing this video. I'm Professor Olayinka Akonle. I'm a lecturer in the university. On this channel, I do a number of stuff, but all the stuff I do, sociology, research, relationship, and migration are very central to them. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly go ahead and click subscribe on your screen right now. Tap subscribe on your screen right now to join my family of subscribers, and so that you might be alerted every time I drop new video. You're welcome once again. Today, I'll be teaching on reliability. Reliability. This is a very important part of research. In fact, if your research is considered unreliable or not reliable, then that's a big problem. That means it's very important for you to ensure reliability in your research. And reliability is central to science, because research is science if you look at it, because it follows methodical processes. So reliability, the video I dropped before this one was on validity, which means the extent to which a research or a measurement tool was able to deliver or to measure exactly what it was intended to measure, to what extent it made the objective and answers the research question set for it. So, but for reliability, which sometimes people consider to be the other side of validity. So reliability in itself has to do more about the research methodology. It talks about more about the methodology or the research process followed in achieving that result or the finding. So what basically is reliability in research? Reliability just means the extent, the level, the degree to which a method or an instrument or a measurement tool, the extent to which it is able to achieve the same result over a period of time or under the same condition. The extent to which a method, a research method, a tool, or an instrument, a measurement tool, the extent, the level, the degree to which it achieves same result under the same condition. You have same conditions, you have a method, an instrument, a tool, can be a questionnaire, can be a method, can be a tool, whatever you want to use to conduct a research, the extent, the method, that particular stuff, to the extent to which it can achieve same results under the same condition over a period of time. Because this is very important, because the essence of using methodology, the essence of using instrument, is to be sure that we can replicate. So it is the degree, the extent of replicability of a research process or of a tool that has been deployed. So reliability is about replicability. The extent to which that research, that result, that measurement tool, the extent to which it can be replicated and still get the same results. We consider a research or a process very reliable if it was the same research, the same tool was used in different situations. You conduct, under the same condition. You conduct a research among maybe Hispanic population in the United States. You consider the same, you use the same instrument. You conduct the same research in Alaska or in Washington, D.C., or in Shanghai, or in Mumbai, under the same condition. You conduct a research using the same instrument under the same condition in Washington, D.C. Now you got a result, then you took the same research to New York City, or you took it to California, or Oklahoma, or Ohio, or you conduct the same research under the same condition in Accra, Ghana, then you took the same research to Kumasi. You expect that under the same condition, the same findings, the same results should be gotten following the same process. So if this is not so, then we say that research is not reliable. That finding is not trustworthy. But if you conduct the same research, in Kumasi, under the same condition, the same research, you conduct the same research in Accra, Ghana, then you find the same results. You say, wow, this method, this research, this instrument is reliable. But if you got totally different results under the same condition, then we cannot say that method, that measurement, that instrument is reliable. So the essence of replicability is what is very important to us in reliability in research. So this is very important. The higher your degree of reliability, the more replicable the research or the method should be. So the higher the replicability, that means the higher the reliability of that research or of that tool, of whatever it is that you are doing. So replicability is central to reliability. So the higher the reliability, then the better the replicability, so to say. So and the more reliable a research is, or a measurement tool is, or a method is, the more reliable, the more stable the results. And the more stable the result of the finding, the more reliable we say the research is. So don't forget, as much as you are conducting a research, you must ask yourself, or using an instrument, you must ask yourself, to what extent will my result be reliable? That means if you say you have followed this process, then we expect that other researchers should be able to follow the same process and get the same result. Because you are considering that research to also contribute to knowledge and to find results that we can consider to be trustworthy. So consistency in measurement, in method, in research is very important in considering reliability. Consistency is key to reliability and is very important. We find so many researchers today that are not reliable. Everybody is just running here and there, conducting researches without thinking about reliability. So that's why I said to do the video before this on validity, and now this one on reliability. So researchers, measurement tools, instruments, processes must be seen to be valid and reliable. Don't forget, this is very important. And what are the critical, what are the central elements? Central elements in reliability. We have consistency, we have trustworthiness, we have replicability. Three major central elements in talking about reliability. We talk about consistency. Your research must be consistent. Your results must be consistent across different, under the same conditions, across different contexts, across different time. So it must be consistent. Your process and results findings must be, your methodology must be consistent, must be trustworthy. When we call it to account, it must be trustworthy, must be replicable. That is, that methodology, that instrument, that tool must be able to be replicated under the same condition and get the same results. Three central elements. Consistency, must be consistent across different time and settings, must be trustworthy. We must be able to trust the process. It must be replicable. So what are the types of, so I've told you what it means, why it's important, I've told you the central elements, then what are the types? A major type, we have four major types of reliability. One is what we call test, retest reliability. That means if we conduct the same research using the same instrument over time, over a period of time, we must be able to get the same results. The same results under the same condition at different time before we say, well, this research is reliable. So a first type is test, retest reliability. Consistency of results under the same methodology process over a period of time. The second one is what we call inter-rater reliability. That means when different researchers use the same method and the same instrument, they should be able to get same results under same condition. These different researchers, I, Professor Olayinka Akanle, have deployed a method to conduct a research. If I'm able to get this social findings, another professor, another researcher must be able to use the same methodology and get the same result. Then we say, okay, different researchers are able to validate that finding through the same process. That's what we call inter-rater reliability. Then we have parallel forms reliability. This is, we have different versions of the same instruments, different versions of the same method. And these versions are used across different settings, under same conditions, and they get the same result. Then we say that is consistency across different versions of different methods. Parallel forms reliability. Then we can have internal consistency reliability. That means different elements of that research, different variables, the degree to which these variables, this element in the same method, the same instrument, the way they are able to work together. You know, you have different variables, you have different elements in the same instrument or in the same research, and the way they are able to correlate, the way they are able to relate together to form a coherent research method, to form a coherent, measurement tool. This is what we call internal consistency. You have a questionnaire, for example, in a questionnaire, they have different variables on that questionnaire. So the extent to which these variables are able to relate among themselves to give you consistent results is what we call internal consistency. It's not that you have different variables measuring different things, and you then find your results. You have all manners of unrelated findings. Then we can say that instrument, that method, it does not have internal consistency, so it cannot be reliable. We will also mention something like this under validity, so you can view. So I've mentioned the 4 types of reliability for you: test research reliability, interdata reliability, parallel forms reliability, and internal consistency. There must be internal consistency, among the variables that you have in your tool, in your measurement tool, in your instrument, and different components of your research methods must relate, and they must be consistent, because your research basically is a single entity. So then finally, how do you achieve reliability in your research? Okay, I've told you it's very important. Then how can you achieve this? Number one, you have to standardize your procedure. If you are using an instrument, or a tool, you have to standardize the tool, and this is quite key. So you have to standardize, then you have to validate the instrument. And a major way to do this too at the same time is to conduct a pilot study. If you do a pilot testing of your instrument, of your methodology, I mentioned pilot testing when I was doing in the video on validity. If you do pilot study, that is, you go to use this instrument or this method in totally different setting, so you can begin to work on them to be sure that they are reliable. So standardizing, and there are also some processes that you can use to standardize, mainly in psychology or some other part of social sciences and humanity. But very strategic one I usually recommend is to pilot test. Do pilot testing so you can standardize your instrument and procedure and method through this and validate your instrument. So pilot testing is critical. It's very important for you to achieve reliability. Then you do thorough training for all research officials. The team lead must be able to train and build capacity of everybody that will be involved in the research method, the research process. So capacity building, thorough training of the officer is very key, and you do robust data collection. As you want to collect the data, you get involved, you relate, you have proper community entry, community entry, and proper community exit. I have videos on community entry and community exit. These are very important components of the research, if you like. So it's very key that you have appropriate community entry. If you don't enter the community very properly, definitely your research cannot be reliable, because you will not be able to engage your participants over a period of time. So robust data collection, engagement of research participants is very important. Then you do robust data analysis. If your data collection is not thorough, your research members are not well trained, are not competent, your data collection is not robust, your data analysis is not robust, then in terms of measurement of reliability, your research is dead on arrival. So you have to standardize your procedure, validate an instrument. You can do pilot testing, like I've told you, robust data collection, and your data analysis must be robust at the same time. And you can increase your sample size. There is a simple rule in research. The larger your sample size, the more reliable your research will be, especially in quantitative research. Even in qualitative research, until you get to the point of saturation. I have a video on point of saturation on this channel. View the point of saturation. This is how we determine sample size, aside a priori knowledge in qualitative. But even in qualitative and quantitative, sample size, the larger they are, sometimes the better. But it's a rule of thumb in quantitative research. The larger your sample size, the better, the more reliable. But in qualitative, sometimes the depth and context are very important. But sample size can also be managed to increase reliability. And also you spend quality time planning. Do your community entry very well. Do your participant engagement very well. Do your sampling very well. So proper planning is key to achieving reliability. Don't just jump to the field and run out of the field. And triangulate. Use many methods of data collection. You can triangulate your theory. You can triangulate your method of data collection. You can use questionnaire. You can use in-depth interview. You can use key informant interview. You can use case study. You can use live history, focus group discussion. All these methods of data collection, I have videos on them on this channel. View them and you will be glad you did. So triangulation is also key. I have a video on triangulation, combining more than one method in research. Even you can triangulate method of data analysis. If you triangulate, then it will increase the reliability. Instead of using only questionnaire, you can triangulate it with focus group discussion, can triangulate it with observation, whether participant or non-participant. I have a video on observation on this channel too. So you can view, if you combine these different methods, then your reliability will be very high. Then you have to be objective, be scientific, follow methodical processes. Don't jump procedures. If you follow methodical approaches, definitely it will be scientific, be objective, and build capacity. This is very important. If you follow all of this, I'm sure your research will be very reliable. You will be able to get the same results under same conditions across different settings and across many years. If your research is not valid and is not reliable, then it's equal to zero. So in this video, I've told you what reliability is. I've told you why it is important. I've told you central elements of it. I've told you types of reliability. I've told you how to achieve it, and I've given you examples. So I think you should be very competent in reliability now. Click subscribe on your channel on your screen right now. Click subscribe and share. And you can drop your comment. If there are things you want me to talk about, drop it and I will respond. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye.